Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode where I talk about managing your ad agency relationship, targeting specifically marketing people that work with multiple ad agencies or just even a single big, large agency. And this topic was an interesting topic, or is an interesting topic to me because of the Bud Light controversy. And if you're not familiar with the Bud Light boycott controversy, just Google it and all kinds of information will come up. And within minutes, you will be very, very educated on this topic. I wanted to talk about this particular management issue because I read on Fox Business Report about Anheuser-Busch reportedly pinning the move to partner with Dylan on its third-party ad agency. And they sent a letter out to their beer distributors about how they have cut ties with the ad agency responsible for the collaboration. And being an ad agency and having worked in the ad agency culture with different companies, I was just very intrigued by what that relationship was like and what maybe some of the pitfalls could have been. And so in this episode, what I wanted to do was maybe give you some pointers on how you can effectively manage the ad agency that you work with. Depending on the size of your business, you may have one, you may have two, you may have 5 ad agencies at any given time working on your marketing and helping you grow your business. How do you manage that? There are specific things that you should be keeping in mind as you work with ad agencies. You need to make sure that everything that they're doing is in harmony with your overall business goals and business objectives. And you can't be in a situation where things are not in alignment and things blow up in your face like Bud Light is experiencing right now. I'm not going to get into the controversy of the topic. What I'm trying to get at is how can you manage your digital marketing agency and use that relationship to the betterment of your business and everybody involved. So tune in and let's get started. Welcome to the latest episode of Corner Your Market. I'm your host, Silas Kimide. In this podcast, I talk about all things digital marketing, from website design and development to SEO and PPC, as well as paid advertising, email marketing, social media, and anything in between. If you're a small business owner, a marketing manager in a company, or an entrepreneur, this podcast is for you. So tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. You'll gain some practical insights, new strategies, tactics, and tools that will help you grow your business. To subscribe, go to corneryourmarketpodcast.com and select the podcast app of your choice. Then you can hit subscribe within those apps. That again is corneryourmarketpodcast.com. Also, don't forget to like and share our individual episodes. You can also leave a review in the app once you've listened to one of our episodes. Today I want to shift gears a little bit and talk. I'm not going to dive into the Bud Light controversy with Dylan and everything like that. That's not the point of this podcast. But working in marketing and as an ad agency, marketing and advertising agency principal, I was kind of something in the news articles took me, caught my attention the other day, which is normal. I mean, it's not like I'm surprised by this, but I think it was Fox News that was reporting that Anheuser-Busch is now reportedly pinning the move to partner with Dylan on its third-party ad agency, which had reportedly signed the influencer. As a result, they have now informed their U.S. beer distributors about how they have cut ties with the ad agency responsible for the collaboration. So I know shortly after the controversy started, the VP of marketing for Bud Light, the brand manager marketing or something, I don't know what her title was. She was paid on. She left on leave, and then her boss at the corporate office was also on paid leave. Not exactly sure. They didn't give reasons for it, and then a couple of weeks later we have this news as the top brass when they were giving their investor calls on Wall Street, they mentioned that they've cut ties with the ad agency. Now, It's not uncommon for a company of that size and magnitude to have multiple ad agencies that they're working with. I'm sure they have hundreds of ad agencies that take care of different parts of their marketing. Because this is not their only brand. I'm sure there's other brands that they have other agencies and things like that. So, but what this shows you is that managing your ad agency should also be a very big part of your business management. And I've been on the other side where I haven't been on the client side working with multiple ad agencies, but I've been on the agency side where we have had to work with different agencies that the brand has hired, and we're just one agency handling this one thing, and then you have other agencies handling other things and things like that. So I've been on the other side, and so there's definitely I definitely have some opinions and experience on how a brand or company should manage their ad agency. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. I'm not saying that this is a pet peeve or a list of issues that I have. I'm just trying to establish and give some wisdom. If you are a marketing manager or marketing person and you work in a big company and you manage agencies and things like that, I just want to share my experience from the other end of being on the other end of that relationship. So what I want to do is I want to lay out I believe I have seven things that I feel like a brand or a company should really do in order to better manage us as the ad agency, right? So I'm going to list the seven, and then I want to go into the details of each of those. I've got some couple of examples on some of these, and I think you'll benefit. So the first one is clearly defined goals and expectations. Second one is effective communication. Third one is collaborative planning and strategy. And this one breaks out into several bullets for me from my experience. Fourth is request and review reports. And the keyword there is review for the brand. And then 5 is provide access to resources. Again, I've got some points on that one as well. And then 6 is foster a culture of collaboration. I can share some stories on that, perhaps, maybe, if I feel like it. I don't want to incriminate anybody. 7th is evaluate performance and results. Kind of goes with number 4, request and review reports, because if you're requesting and reviewing reports, then you're evaluating performance and results at the same time, right? So anyway, so those are the 7 things. So like I said, the first one is clearly define goals and expectations. And maybe it's because people assume and make a lot of assumptions, but this one is big because I've been on the other end where I've been on the situation where we're the primary agencies and we've got 3 or 4 other agencies that are working with us. And then I've been in other situations where we're one of the minor agencies and there's 3 or 4 bigger agencies working with us. And I can't tell you how many times the brand manager or the manager on the other end does not have a very clearly defined goal and expectation. They don't have very good, clear, specific goals on why we're doing the campaign. Was it a good idea? Was it thought through? Was there a specific metric that we're hitting or anything like that? A lot of times it just comes down to, well, this is what the meeting decided, or this is what the company people decided, or this is what the boss wants, or this is what the new guy wants, something like that, right? So a lot of times we end up working with very vague goals and very vague expectations, and we are asked to form an opinion and form goals and form expectations around those and present it to the agency. And oftentimes the pushback is, well, you're supposed to be telling us what to do because that's why we hired you. And so that's kind of a little bit of a tricky situation, because at the end of the day, we are your marketing partner and we are trying to do the best we can. But at the end of the day, it's your business and you have clear goals and you have clear expectations on your end. And you need to be able to communicate that to us so that we can help you execute that. We're a partner, right? And in this situation, yes, you are paying us to give you insightful strategy, insightful plans and insightful marketing help. But at the same time, you need to give us the goals and expectations that your CEO, your CMO, your upper management, your company goal, your research arm has come up with. right? And so we rely on that information to do our work. And going along with that is having a clearly defined goal and expectation on your end is very, very good. And then being able to communicate that very effectively with the agency is also very important. And I'm kind of the belief that, you really should be able to ask any questions, right? I mean, sometimes there's a little bit of a difficult situation where maybe you've been working with this brand for a few years, but there's been turnover on your staff, and we need to kind of re-communicate certain things, re-understand what things are. Maybe the marketing definitions are not as clear now as they were before because the market's changed, things like that. So effective communication. This is where having a regularly scheduled meeting to discuss the progress, the challenges, upcoming initiatives is so critical. And I know nobody wants one more meeting on their schedule, but you're working. This is very important. If the Bud Light controversy has shown anything to anybody, it is the importance of an ad agency, right? The importance of communication, clear communication. Because now the CEO is saying it was misinformation that is leading to all this stuff. Well, that's on you, buddy. I mean, don't blame people for misinformation if you're not effectively communicating, So I just blame this whole thing on Bud Light. I'm not blaming the ad agency on this one. Sorry. Because if you maintain open, transparent communication with your digital marketing agency and you're having regular progress calls, challenges, upcoming initiatives, right? And you're providing timely feedback and you're addressing any concerns promptly, that is a hallmark of really, really effective communication. And skipping those meetings, I know everybody, sometimes people get into a situation where they feel like, you know what, marketing's not that important. I got staff challenges to do. I got board meetings to go to. I got to do this, especially the upper echelon of companies. They don't realize how much they're holding things up and how much their lack of participation is affecting the marketing communication. So attend those meetings, even, have a standing meeting. Book it for 30 minutes, an hour. If you only need 10 minutes that week, just use 10 minutes, end early. There's nothing that says you have to go the full 60 minutes. But anyway, I can't tell you how much that has cleared up communication issues when I've worked on those kind of accounts. The third one is collaborative planning and strategy, right? I mean, I said earlier that you need to have your goals defined and your expectations set. But at some point, you do need to collaborate with the agency in the planning and the strategy development process so that they're aware of how you came to that decision, the insights. Because sometimes companies will have a whole full-blown research arm where they're doing consumer surveys, they're doing, focus groups and things like that. And they're using a different agency for that. And that agency specializes in that, and they go through that whole process, and then they come up with a document and they send it over to the, let's say the digital agency and say, okay, read it through and implement. Yeah, that's a little bit weird because it's better to actually have the digital marketing agency be a little bit involved in that process. How were the people selected? How was the research done? Who were some of the people there? Were there some insights that could be gleaned? Were there some insights that maybe were not that pertinent to the digital agency and things like that? So collaborative planning and strategy is also very important. I remember I was a digital marketing guy in this one particular account. This is about 15 years ago, and they were doing a focus group. And at that time, it didn't really seem necessary for me as the digital marketing guy to go to the focus group, but I think my boss or somebody said you should go. And I did. I went to the focus group. I just sat around and listened and saw how they did it and what people were saying and all that kind of stuff. And I thought that was kind of interesting from a digital marketing perspective to see, how are people using things. And out of that, I believe, came a usability study of the website. So which gave us a lot of insight in terms of how the website is being used. And then so when time came around to redoing the website, I was also actually able to lean into the focus group results as well as the usability study and then drive that website redesign. So that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of why, getting these agencies involved in each other's work can also be very important. Where you're sharing insights about your target audience, your industry trends, your business goals, and things like that. And then out of that, I think all of your agencies and everybody needs to agree on who your audience is. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes of the Bud Light thing is they just forgot who their core audience is, right? You need to know who your audience is. You need to know the lifetime value of your core audience, because your core audience is what is going to drive your business. Let's just forget it, right? There are peripherals that you want to attract and make into your core audience, but at the end of the day, you got to keep your core audience happy. And then also you got to make sure that your marketing agency actually understands the key revenue drivers for your company. Sometimes, as I've gotten into marketing, sometimes, I like talking to CFOs, because CFOs and financial people, because they'll tell you, what is driving the business, which one is profitable, which one is not profitable, what is the long-term value of your product and services and things like that. And when you get that information, it's so helpful, especially if you're driving, if you're tasked with running a PPC campaign, and the person running the PPC campaign or the agency running the PPC campaign doesn't even know your key revenue drivers. That's a miss, in my opinion. How useful that information is going to vary, but it's really good to know, okay, these are the surgeries that I do at my hospital that are the most profitable for me. These are the ones that are low-cost leaders. These are the ones that are nice to have, but not important. And, search volume might be inverse. The nice to haves might have a lot of search volume. So you can really work with that information to figure out, okay, maybe I tap into the high search volume here, bring them into the traffic, but I also, figure out a way to put them into a drip campaign that pushes the high value product, So there's a lot of things that marketing people can use when you give them that kind of insight. Which one is your profitable product and service? Sometimes, all we're told is campaign's not working. And what we see in our end is everything's working. The thing's running the way that we were told it was supposed to run, and if the traffic is there and people are calling and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's not working. Well, it turns out the particular product we're pushing was not profitable, and nobody told us that. So anyway, that's the collaborative planning and strategy. That level of insight is very helpful for any digital agency that you work with, or any kind of marketing agency that you work with. Now, request and review reports. It boggles my mind how many clients that I've worked with never request a report and never review a report. It is mind-boggling to me. Hey, maybe it's because I feel like I want to be held accountable to what I do, and it's helpful for me to know whether or not what I'm doing is valuable to you or not, right? So if you're not requesting and reviewing performance reports, these days it's so easy to set up dashboards and put in a couple of analysis and things like that. It's really not a huge burden, in my humble opinion, for an agency to be able to set up very, very effective reports. Hire somebody, if you're an agency, to set up some kind of a automated reporting system. There's lots of tools out there. Decide on the metrics, put a report together that can be easily updated every 30 days. Have an analyst review the report, compare it against goals, metrics, strategy, things like that, and write up a 1-2 paragraph summary of what happened and how things are going. And what are some key insights? What is working? What is not working? Questions you have, things like that. So this part of the process can make you make very informed decisions and optimize future strategies for everything that you're trying to do. Now, that was the fourth one, right? So request and review reports. The fifth one is provide access to resources, right? Ensure that your digital marketing agency has access to all the necessary resources, such as brand guidelines. If you want me to write ad copy for your company and you hired me to do PPC, let me at least see the brand guideline so I know what to say, what not to say. I don't want to, like if you're a top executive who built the brand, goes on Google and does a search and sees something, and now I'm in trouble, right? And the thing is that we weren't given the brand guideline, or maybe the person on the other end said, it doesn't really matter, or maybe that person didn't even know. Right? There are certain things you can't say in certain industries. Like you can't say expert lawyer, for instance. You can't call a lawyer expert. The bar doesn't like that. Right? So if you're working with attorneys, You need to have a brand guideline that basically you can give to your agency and say, here's a brand guideline. These are words you can use. You can't use these words. This is how you need to describe us. This is the tone. This is the voice. These are the colors. This is, all that stuff. It's very, very important to do that. And then also product information, cross-product information, like the details of the product are, sometimes we've run Facebook ads campaigns and we get a huge backlash. People just upset about something. And I was like, what the heck? And it turns out that there was some issue with that product in terms of customer service in the past, and people were upset about it. So they saw an ad and they thought that was a great opportunity to, give us a piece of their mind. So again, and then any relevant industry updates that the digital marketing agency could benefit from, just give it to them, at least offer it to them. If they say no, it's on them. If they don't review it and they don't take advantage of the information that you're giving to them, then that's on them. But basically, providing access to these types of resources empowers your digital agency to create cohesive and accurate marketing materials and campaigns that aligns with your brand identity. And that is very, very important, as we have learned from the Bud Light fiasco, right? There is a brand that is associated. There's a brand there's an audience attached to that brand, Bud Light, right? Everything that they need to do has to be cohesive and accurate and in alignment to that brand. Otherwise, it's going to blow up, like we've seen. Now, the sixth one is a culture of collaboration. This comes in very, very important. Sometimes we have a really good relationship with a client, and then all of a sudden, new top dog or new junior dog or new hotshot dog is on the team, and boom, they hide information. They're coy about information. They're not upfront. They feel threatened. They feel whatever, number of issues. So you need to, as a marketing leader on that company, you need to encourage collaboration between your internal teams and the agency. Look, the agency is not there to fight with your internal people. This is not a competition. We're there to help. We're there to support. We're help to strategize. We're there to work together. We're there to make you successful. So you got to put all that stuff aside. So sharing information, coordinating efforts. If you're doing like a guerrilla marketing campaign at a grocery store, or you're going to a convention and that team doesn't tell you, but you could be targeting some ads in that location, you got to coordinate, man. You got to let people know what the left hand is doing and what the right hand is doing, and the two hands got to work together. So anyway, sharing information, coordinating efforts, leveraging each other's strengths. And this is a little bit more on the side of if you're working with multiple agencies at the same time. I'm in situations a lot of times where you have the website agency, the agency that manages the website and just the technical stuff there. And then there's the agency that manages the paid media campaigns. And then there's the brand agency. And then there's the marketing research company. I've been in situations where there's 4 or 5 agencies that are supposed to be working together, right? And so you're running a PPC campaign, you need a landing page. You can't do that. The agency that is managing the website needs to do that. So you need to foster and then when you try to tell them to do something, they get a little bit blah, blah, because that's a business they could probably do. Anyway, you do it. Anyway, I think you get the point. I'm not trying to make it a huge deal, but fostering a culture of collaboration, encouraging collaboration between your internal teams, your team and the agency, and then all the different agencies that are working together with you. Very important. So the 7th thing is evaluate performance and results. The reports that we generate and the insights that we give you, we really want you to regularly evaluate that performance with the right person on your team. Show it to your CFO, show it to your financial leaders, show it to your boss, show it to other team members in your company that might be impacted by it, the product manager, maybe even the sales manager. Get some input in that, evaluate it, see what it's doing, see whether it's doing well, whether it's poor. Insights, are the insights on track? If sales is always complaining about bad leads, but all of our marketing metrics are positive, there is a disconnect, right? If we're telling you that traffic is high, call volume is high. That's all we can tell you. Click-through rates are high, the ad copy is performing well. That's the marketing effort. All those metrics are pointing in the right direction based on what we've been told. But if the sales team is saying, you know what, all these leads are bad, we waste too much time, it's hard to close. Okay, there's a problem. There's a disconnect. And that's a simple example, very easy to fix. Show your reports to sales. Tell them the marketing strategy that's being employed. They'll have some insights. Bring that back to the agency. Let's talk. Let's make this happen for you, right? So anyway, regularly evaluate the performance of your digital marketing agency with the established goals and expectations from point number one, right? Go back to point number one. Assess the value that we as the agency have brought you, how effective we are with our strategies, and then also what is the return on investment? Are you getting the return that you want? It doesn't always have to be financial, right? It doesn't always have to be financial. It can be, but not all marketing can be measured in dollars that you return, right? So a lot of times, for instance, social media campaigns, maybe what you're after is awareness and things like that. So that can't always be measured in dollar terms, but it can be measured. So provide the constructive feedback in that example that I just gave you, and then discuss the areas for improvement and refinement. So that's the seventh thing. So if I am going to summarize this here for you today, so we talked about how to effectively manage your digital marketing agency, and then this came up because of all the stuff that's happening with Bud Light and some of the stuff that I saw on Fox News recently about them letting go of their ad agency. So if you're going to effectively manage your digital marketing agency as a client, 7 things that we talked about today is clearly defining your goals and your expectations, effective communication. We talked about collaborative planning and strategy. We also talked about requesting and reviewing reports, right? As well as providing access to the resources that the digital agency or marketing agency needs, and then fostering a culture of collaboration amongst all the team members and things like that. And then finally, we talked about evaluating performance and results. I think there's a reason why you've hired a marketing agency. There's a reason why you might have hired several marketing agencies, right? And you can't just hire them and say, go do it. You have to participate in that. And that's what I was trying to help you with here is figure out a way to work with them, make it work. There's some really great talented agencies out there that can help you get your business to the next level, help you grow market share, get new clients, get new business, and become very successful. So use these 7 tips in your next, as you evaluate your agency relationship. And if some of them are not working out for you, replace them. But do follow these 7 steps. And I think if you do follow these 7 steps, you're going to have very productive, relationship with your agency, and it's going to help you grow your business. So with that, I say happy marketing to you all.
If you're a small business owner, a marketing manager at a company, or an entrepreneur, please tune in weekly. You'll gain some insights, tips, tricks, and be a bit more enlightened when it comes to digital marketing. I promise you, if you implement the strategies, tactics, and tools I discussed in this podcast, your business will definitely grow. Please subscribe to this podcast. You can do so by going to corneryourmarketpodcast.com and subscribe with the listening platform of your choice. That URL again is corneryourmarketpodcast.com. Don't forget to like and share this episode with your friends and colleagues. Also, don't forget to leave a review. Those mean a lot to me and can help others that would benefit from the information I share. Finally, I would love to hear from you. I love getting listener emails. So if you have questions, feedback, or any general comment about the topics I discuss on this podcast, feel free to send me an email. I will be sure to share and discuss your feedback on the air if it will benefit our listening audience. You can write to me at connect@corneryourmarketpodcast.com. Just put listener comment in the subject line. That email again is connect@corneryourmarketpodcast.com. And again, please put listener comment in the subject line. Thanks for listening today. I look forward to being back next week. Until then, be good and do good.